What fascinates us about him? What made him into the person that he is today? What motivates people to hate him and to visit him? MacLeod, this is the story of Drachenlord. On February 23rd, finally the first documented visit to the Schanze happened. Mr. Immer posted a photo taken at 11 o'clock in the morning on Lachshon. In it, you can see Rainer's car and the vast quantity of garbage in the court. As a reminder, the infamous video in which Rainer mentions his address had appeared on February 5th, 2014. Thus, it took more than 1 year after his address became known for the first documented visit to take place. In the meantime, Rainer had calmed down again after the drama with Drachenlord, and there were hardly any signs of life from him for a few days, except for a Skyrim Let's Play. Finally, on February 27th, Rainer opened the Drachenlord Teamspeak server. As expected, it should be full of trolls. Accordingly, there was a ban orgy in the beginning until things calmed down. With strict rules, Rainer tried to ban haters, trolls, and all those who occasionally contradicted him from the server. Above all, he also wanted to prevent people from recording his conversations and adventurous claims and publishing them on the internet. Over the next few weeks, leaks from the Teamspeak server appeared over and over. Strikingly often, Rainer asked for the age of his interlocutors and banned anyone who opposed him in any way. On March 3rd, a Teamspeak leak appeared in which Rainer claims to be very fit and agile despite his weight, to have done martial arts in the past, and to be able to do a roundhouse kick. He claims to have done taekwondo, karate, kung fu and muay thai, but to not have a belt because he was never in a club and taught himself everything. Even for people unfamiliar with the subject, it should be clear that Rainer is not nearly as knowledgeable about martial arts as he pretends to be. However, the other participants in the conversation don't dare correct him, presumably for fear of being banned. Then he tells how he was once involved in a physical altercation with several hip-hop fans and was injured with a knife on his upper body, so that the wound had to be stitched. The attacker's knife blade broke after Rainer performed a roundhouse kick. In the end, the 3 attackers were hospitalized due to his fighting skills. Whereupon they apologized to Rainer once they regained consciousness. However, since Rainer has no scar from the knife attack, this story is obviously at least grossly exaggerated, if not completely fabricated. Also at this time, Rainer was given the derogatory nickname Lustlord, as he would often retreat to private rooms on Teamspeak with women and attempt to flirt with them in an amateurish manner. On March 5th, Rainer uploaded a video, Nonsense Vlog number 8, Unboxing of New Cam. The 6th of March, the video The Hut in the Woods was released. In it, he films himself gasping for air as he walks through the area. Once again, he claims to ignore the haters in the future. He also believes to have walked about 7.5 miles in total. However, on Lachshon an attempt was made to reconstruct his walking route. This reconstruction was just 1.25 miles long. Also, Rainer announces that in the future he will do more sports again and lose weight. On March 8th, a woman known on Lachshon as Benutzername or username talked with Rainer over Teamspeak for almost 2 hours. She warns Rainer that his presence on the internet will have negative consequences for him and tries to have a constructive conversation with him. Among other things, Rainer claimed over the course of the conversation to have had a long-distance relationship with a girl at the age of 14, to want to become a great but not professional YouTuber, to have worked with his father in the forest at the age of 4, to have already had 6,000 job interviews, to have started earning money with YouTube in the meantime, but to still have money from his father's inheritance, to have worked every day until the age of 21, but after that only sporadically, not being allowed to finish his school education, and to sometimes help out at a soup kitchen. He also claimed that his sister suffers from his internet presence, that if he stops, the haters will win, not wanting to be in the public eye, and to have never had sex with a woman. In addition, Rainer stated that teachers in special education ignore fights between students, that he was in special education because of his dyslexia, and that he can run 9 miles in 30 minutes. Also, Rainer believed that his fans had uncovered the identity of Drachenlord, that he could have sued Lachshon and Krautschon in any other country, and that there is a connection between back pain and the length of his hair. Throughout the conversation, Rainer reacted generally negative to well-meant advice, and was not aware of any guilt regarding his current situation. A Teamspeak leak exists from March 11th, in which Rainer claims to have started consuming pornography at the age of 7 when he discovered his mother's collection. On March 15th, some people on Teamspeak tried to convince Rainer that it would be a good idea to get a smoke detector for his house. Rainer ignored their coherent arguments, insisted that he didn't need a smoke detector, and ended up furiously banning people who had only meant well for him. March 17th, Ready on Foot was released. He films himself outdoors in front of the Emskirchen water level house, complaining about having back pain lately. The second documented visit from which this photo is preserved also occurred on this day. Then, on March 18th, TOM, Time of Metal No. 5 band Nightwish album Imaginarium appeared. On Teamspeak, Rainer claimed to know several significantly larger YouTubers, however he doesn't ask them to help him grow faster. He also banned people from mispronouncing words. In the future, he planned to ignore the haters. On March 19th, Rainer uploaded the video I Sat on a Bridge, in which he shows himself out in nature again. He claims that at the moment he lacks inspiration for videos, as his daily routine is usually pretty boring. He also announces that he will be at the 2015 Summer Breeze. On the same day, Drachenlord also reappeared and uploaded a parody video. On March 25th, Home again appeared, in which Rainer explains that there are very few vlogs currently due to stress in his private life. Also at this time, he made a woman named Ariella a moderator on his Teamspeak server. In general, Rainer made himself unpopular because he banned people arbitrarily on Teamspeak, for example, only because they had seen a hater video. Also, he sometimes reacted aggressively and hostile to harmless questions. In addition, the server was infiltrated by his informers and there was an atmosphere of denunciation. Rainer also went undercover himself on his own server, but was relatively unsuccessful. For that, he changed his name and pretended to be a friend of himself in order to infiltrate the haters. Again and again, haters also played the Lügenlord or Lord of Lies song created by Rainbow Sheep to him over Teamspeak to enrage Rainer. On March 29th, Rainer uploaded Drachenlord episode 6, Drachenlord Watches Hentai, Creeper Darkos. In the video, in which he responds to comments, Creeper Darkos makes a brief guest appearance. He also has a large amount of gel in his hair, perhaps because of Ariella. On April 1st, if you tried to visit Lachshon, only a message appeared, which stated that the site was blocked by the district court of Emskirchen. Rainer then published a video, Sick Again, Why Fuck, in which he reports that he assumes that this is a fake because Emskirchen has no district court. Then he reports that he is sick again already, although he thinks this is strange because normally he almost never gets sick. On April 3rd, Rainer told the story with the prostitute in detail on Teamspeak. According to the story, Rainer was on his way to a brothel with a friend, but they couldn't find it. Thereupon, they ordered a prostitute to Rainer's home since he was already living alone at that time. The planned deflowering failed, however, because Rainer could not get an erection. On April 8th, Rainer uploaded Drachenlord episode 7, Drachenlord Kills Himself. In the video, Rainer googles the Dunning-Kruger effect because of a comment. Thereupon he claims one couldn't infer anything from his videos about his personality. He continues to respond to hater comments with more or less funny answers.
Ich soll scheiße sein. Also das letzte Mal, als ich nachgesehen habe, und das ist auch eigentlich gerade die Tatsache, bin ich ein Mensch gewesen. Scheiße sieht so aus.
Ja, ich bin im Video.
Also wenn ich scheiße sein soll, dann solltest du mal deine Augen untersuchen lassen.
Towards the end of the video, Rainer briefly plays the video game Dragon Isolation, which was created by a hater. The presented comments were read out by members of his Teamspeak server, amongst them someone who, according to The Voice, is Rainbow Sheep. After that, a video from Rainbow Sheep appeared in which he claimed that Rainer had apologized for his bad behavior and that the two of them were now good friends and partners. On April 9th, the progressive dilapidation of the Drachenschanze was also documented. In a Teamspeak leak titled Hello Mr. Marius, Rainer revealed he had written to Marius, the owner of Lachschon. Rainer gave him one last chance to stop the mockery of him on Lachschon. Otherwise, he threatened there would be legal consequences. Rainer expected that everything about him would be deleted and that the admins and moderators would prevent any mention of Rainer in the future. He claimed that his inbox was constantly overflowing with mail from trolls, that he would sue for compensation for pain and suffering, that family, friends and neighbors are getting terrorized with phone calls, and that he, however, is not burdened psychologically by the hate. Marius then advised him to refrain from his self-promotion on the internet. According to a Teamspeak leak from April 12th, Ariella does not know what the Ruhr area is. She also exchanged numbers with Rainer with the goal of meeting at some point. Furthermore, Rainer kept complaining about problems with his PC. On April 13th, Ask Drache, Cheese of Evil, appeared. In the video, Rainer claims to have a BB gun at home and to have already shot with it. However, he prefers bladed weapons to firearms. He then presents a wound on his hand that was caused by mishandling a screwdriver. On Teamspeak, Rainer was asked about his visit to his lawyer and his legal dispute with Lachschon. He reacted angrily and claimed that this was a private matter. He also revealed that he had already been visited by people in 2014, including Ariella. On April 20th, Broken PC and New Format was released. In the video, Rainer announces that he wants to start a new format in which people ask him questions. If he doesn't answer them, Rainer would be given penalties, such as having to eat an onion or a hot chili pepper. On April 22nd, Rainer then uploaded 3 videos. In Ask Drache Gamescom, he presents fan art. He also explains again that he doesn't want fans to visit him at home, but announces a fan meeting at Summer Breeze. In Drachenlord Fan Mail number 9, Amiibo, he thanks fans who sent him a Zelda amiibo and reads letters. In the video, Couldn't Think of a Name, he points out that in the last Drachenlord video a comment from Rainbow Sheep was read out. Rainer denies this, however. For comparison, here's the comment which was read out in Rainer's video of April 18th, and then the voice of Rainbow Sheep from his video of the same day.
Ich danke dir, Drachenlord. Bin gerade in Finnland am Flughafen. Warte auf mein Flugzeug zurück nach Deutschland und konnte nicht schlafen. Nach circa 5 Minuten von deinem Video habe ich geschlafen wie ein Stein und steige jetzt gleich gut ausgeschlafen in das Flugzeug. Metal Leute, servus und herzlich willkommen beim Regenbogenschaf. Endlich ist sie da, die Kooperation mit dem Drachenlord.
Also, new recordings from the Teamspeak server surfaced on April 22nd with the title Drache Flips Out. In it, Rainer declares that he doesn't like Deutsche Bahn, the German railways company, basing his opinion largely on a video of Master Jam in which he complains about trains. An argument ensues, over the course of which he calls Ariella obtuse and angrily leaves the channel. His outburst of anger, Rainer claims, stems from his temperamental Italian blood. He then also claims to understand Italian but not to be able to translate it. Meanwhile, Master Jam on Twitter also became the target of trolls. As a result, he distanced himself from Drachenlord. On April 23rd, Rainer revealed in a Teamspeak leak that he had already considered running amok due to bullying. On April 24th, the video Schwimmbad appeared. In it, Rainer tells of going to the swimming pool with a friend and receiving a gift of hot chili sauce. On the same day, Rainer also uploaded the video Dragon Was Tagged, in which he answers 15 questions. He claims that if he had a girlfriend, he would always sleep on the bedside closest to the door. This way, in case of an attack, he could defend his girlfriend. That day, Rainer also claimed on Teamspeak that the skin is not an organ. Even to this day, he insists that in his opinion the skin does not count as an organ, and other people have to accept his opinion. As a result, the members of the Teamspeak server, including Ariella, joined in on singing the Lord of the Lies song.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Lügenlord.
Ich
Ich hoffe, du änderst irgendwann mal dein Leben und kommst drauf klar, dass die Haut ein Organ ist, du Spaß.
Ich werde irgendwann gewonnen haben und dann seid ihr verloren.
Ach, Süßi.
Junge, lach ruhig. Ich werde euch besiegen. Ich mach weiter. Ich mach so lange weiter, bis ihr es begriffen habt.
Ja,
und ich
schmeißt ja am
bin immer
besten
noch...
selber die Prügel raus.
Junge,
das ist, glaube ich, das Beste.
ich hab doch Etzeler. Hab ich jemals aufgegeben, ihr
Etzeler?
Fotzne? Hab ich jemals aufgegeben, ihr Fotzne? Ich werde euch platt machen. Platt machen werde ich euch. Alle. Ich weiß, das würde auch wieder irgendwo landen. Aber ist euch schon mal aufgefallen, wie viel Zeit ihr da reinsteckt, wie viel Zeit ich reinstecke und wer hat die meisten Abonnenten und wer macht als weiter, obwohl ihr den hatet wie die Sau.
Ja, das
Ihr
ist
werdet mich in eurem Leben nie besiegen und ihr werdet auch nie verstehen, warum. Merkt's euch und denkt selber mal über euer Leben nach, nicht über meins. Ich werde euch besiegen, bei weitem.
Aber die
Ich
Haut
mach
ist
so
schon
lange
ein
weiter.
Organ,
Ich werde
ne?
irgendwann gewonnen haben.
Die Haut ist aber schon ein Organ, oder?
Und dann seid ihr Fotzen am Arsch.
Ja, aber die Haut ist jetzt schon ein Organ, oder? Das
Sagt
wollte ich
mir
jetzt
nur
noch
noch
geklärt
eins.
haben.
Ariella gehört auch zu euch, oder?
Ja.
Die Haut ist jetzt schon ein Organ, oder?
Ariella,
Das steht ja.
Pirat,
Oder
ich glaube
hast du da jetzt
alle.
schon noch eine
Außer
andere
Neo
Theorie?
Racer.
Die Haut ist kein Organ. Die war nie ein Organ.
Rainer closed the server, ending the first Teamspeak season. Contrary to Rainer's expectations, all the members had turned out to be haters. Some of them may have been sympathetic to Rainer at first, but his dictatorial behavior and dogmatism ultimately made them all turn away.